Greetings to all, and a warm welcome to our latest live webcast, Modular Licensing and Software Protection. We're thrilled you've decided to join us for this enlightening masterclass. With each episode, we provide new highlights, technical tips, and success stories that will leave you inspired and ready to get your protection, licensing, and security techniques another step closer to perfection. At WIBU-SYSTEMS, we empower software publishers and intelligent device manufacturers with cutting-edge technologies, new business models, and tailor-made consulting training. Let us help you upgrade, optimize, and automate your entire license lifecycle management so you can focus on monetizing your business at a higher level. My name is Daniela Previtali, Global Marketing Director at WIBU-SYSTEMS, and I'm delighted to have you here with us today. We are joined by Rüdiger Kügler, VP Professional Services and Security Expert, and Michael Birger, Professional Services, both from the headquarters of WIBU-SYSTEMS. To give you a roadmap before today's session, here is what we'll be covering. Modular licensing with CodeMeter enables software vendors to offer tailored functionality through feature-based or package-based approaches. A feature-based model links licenses to individual software components, allowing high flexibility and independent packaging. In contrast, a package-based model assigns licenses to predefined sets of features, simplifying deployment. Hybrid strategies and security options, such as feature-specific cryptographic keys, further enhance adaptability and protection. Before we dive into the content, let's quickly address a few housekeeping items. For all of you tuning in today, we set aside a special segment at the end of the session exclusively for Q&A. We warmly encourage you to drop your questions into the live chat box as they come to mind. If we can't get to your question during the live discussion, rest assured we'll make it a priority to engage with you individually at a later time to address your queries. This session is being recorded, and a link to the on-demand replay will be sent straight to your inbox within the next couple of days. This way, you can revisit the insights shared today at your leisure. And don't forget, stick around for the entire lab session and seize the opportunity to win an invaluable 4 hours of personalized CodeMeter consultation with our industry-leading experts. As the webinar concludes, a new browser tab will automatically open, presenting you with a quick quiz. We'll randomly select a lucky winner from those who answer correctly and make the big announcement when we release the webinar replay. Kindly note that if you win, you'll be ineligible for any other prize draws we host in 2025. Be also aware that this brief questionnaire includes additional questions aimed at gauging the quality of this masterclass. While these questions are optional, your valuable feedback will empower us to enhance the quality of our offerings and tailor our online events more precisely to meet your specific needs. And now, without any more delay, I'm delighted to hand over the reins to Rüdiger. The stage is all yours.
Maybe you think, oh, wasn't there a webinar about modular protection just a couple of weeks ago? Yes, you're right. There was a webinar by Jörg and me about modular protection, where we took a look at the License Central side, how to model this in License Central. In today's webinar, Michael and I will mainly cover how to implement the stuff in your software, so making sure your software is licensed in a modular way. And then, of course, we will repeat some of the best practice tips that we did in License Central. And with this, I'd like to welcome you to our webinar, Modular Licensing and Protection. And in our webinar, as Daniela already mentioned, we will cover software which contains multiple features, but Michael, maybe you can add more what we want to cover in the next 50 to 60 minutes.
Sure, hello. So we will look at how we can license features separately. Then we look how we can package them. And then we look at the integration into X-Protector, our tool for encryption and encryption of the application. We'll look at how the licenses are handled inside the application at runtime and what happens when they're missing. We will look at examples in CodeMeter License Central, how to model the licenses. And we take a brief look at hybrid approaches where for not for retail licenses and showcases. And last but not least, we'll look at best practices for maximum security. So yeah, there are different approaches. So different ways to look at it. So there are the technical features in the software and also the packages you sell. And that's what we'll discuss here. So first, there are so let's look at single features. There are in License Central we look at the sales side of single features, and in the Code Meter Protection Suite, namely X Protector, we see how it's technically implemented.
Yeah, in the real world, I see more often packages. So sending single features, like Michael explained, you have different features, you sell them, you can buy them separately, is one option. But in the real life, I see more often that I want to sell a package, a starter package, a professional package, an ultimate package, a package which includes this, and so on. And when we want to sell packages, there are two different options how to realize this. Because we need to package the technical features in the software to some packages that we sell. And one option is that we do this in License Central. So that means in the software itself with AX Protector, which by the way is a part of our Code Meter Protection Suite. In this case, we will use AX Protector and we will simply add a license for every single feature. And then in License Central, we will bundle them together to packages. Option one. Option two, with option two, we can put this package information already inside the application. And in License Central, we simply create an entry for the package, that's it. And License Central doesn't know the technical parts inside the package. License Central only knows I have my package starter, professional, ultimate, and that's it. And so these are the two different options, and we will show the pro and con of the two different options. We have a sample of both approaches. You can see how to do this in the AX Protector, how to do this in License Central, and more or less what does your customer see at the end in the web admin and our end user tools. And Michael, what are the differences between the two approaches?
So let's have a look first at the feature-based approach. So here we have a one-to-one mapping of license to feature. So each feature gets its own license, so to say. You get a relatively simple integration into your software. And it's possible to license every feature combination there possibly is. But the packaging is handled externally, in this case in the License Central then. Also, the package, the downgrade management compatibility is relatively complex. Rüdiger, can you tell us something about that?
The downgrade compatibility is an issue if you have the three following requirements. On one hand, you're changing packages from release to release. The critical part is if you remove a feature from a package. Not unusual. The second thing is you sell only the latest software. You don't sell old packages, maybe due to warranty reasons, also not unusual. And the third thing is your customer needs a previous version. He cannot use the latest version. And so if a customer needs to have the previous version, but you're selling the latest version, then somehow you need to make sure that the customer can use the previous version. And if a license was removed from the package, and you have this on a feature-based level, then you need to create somehow the old license, including the old features, and this could create a mess. So these are the three, let's say, requirements. And if you have these three in combination, then the feature-based approach might have a big disadvantage for you.
Yeah. Also, with a feature-based approach, you see all the features in the web admin on the user level. So the user can see what features you actually license to. Let's have a look at the package-based approach. So by contrast, the logic which maps the features to the packages resides in the software itself, and it's mapped out in X Protector. But and also the benefit is you have to only test the packages you actually licensed, not each feature variation there is. And the downgrade compatibility is much easier to handle here. And the user only sees the actual the package he licensed, not each feature there is. So we prepared a demo application. This is how it looks. It's a simple function grapher in Python. It can graph a function and then the Fourier transform, the magnitude of the Fourier transform of the function. But
just a few questions.
Yeah.
You said it's an application in Python, but we can also do this for other applications like .NET, JavaScript, and so on.
Exactly, yeah. So we can do JavaScript, we can do C, everything that produces a native binary. We can do .NET. We said that already.
Yeah. Java as well.
Java.
So nearly every programming language. And if I take a look at this function, there are two buttons. What can be licensed separately here?
Yeah, so we will look into the the software provides different features. So first of all, it can plot a function. There is the plot function button and the plot Fourier transform button. It plots then the Fourier transform of the function. Also, we have the xmin and xmax input fields, which and in the screenshot they're grayed out. You can see. That will be that's also a feature we can enable, so you can change the axis scaling.
So that means on the technical level, we will implement three features: the plot function, plot Fourier transformation, and the change of the x value.
Exactly.
Okay. And then can you show how this looks like?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So for the feature-based version, we have just a one-to-one mapping of the actual feature in the software to the product we sell. So we have the plot function product, and it maps to the plot function feature, and so on. But also, you can see in the first row we have the basic feature, which is in every product, and that's a functional thing there because to open the software, to actually open the software, that's a feature as well, and that's a basic feature, and you need it for every other feature. Otherwise, when you can't open the software, you can't use anything else as well. So and then we will look at the package-based approach, and here we also have this basic feature, which needs to be in there, which needs to be in every package. But here we get actually more sophisticated packages. We have like the starter package, which only allows function plotting. Then we get a professional package, which allows function plotting and the Fourier transform, and the ultimate package, which allows you to do everything there is in the software, namely the plotting and the x-axis scaling.
Okay, then I think it's time to show how to do this in AX Protector. So I think, Michael, we should start now AX Protector and go for the feature-based approach first. I think we have it already open. Here we go.
Yeah. So here you can see the greeting screen of the AX Protector UI. And we go ahead and load our prepared project. That's graph features. That's the feature-based approach. So first of all, the first screen here, you can select the language you want to protect. So .NET, we have Python selected. And yeah, as said, you could do JavaScript or compile time protection. This is a kind of that's a protection type that's implemented inside the compiler and protects at compile time.
So maybe
for
maybe if you ask yourself, you said Java and native languages are also available. They are not yet available in the graphical interface, but they are available in the previous graphical interface, and they are available on command line. So this is the new graphical interface that you see here. And with the new interface, we have .NET, Python, JavaScript, and CDP. And with the previous interface, you still can use it for native applications and for Java applications.
exactly. So yeah, let's start with our Python application. So first of all, the unprotected the path to the unprotected application. That's the first field here, and the directory where the protected application is put out into. Let's go to the next screen. So here we can see we have basic protection enabled. This is what I was talking about earlier. That to open the software, to actually open the software, you need a license. That's what it is. That's this option. And also we get the modular protection, which enables us to protect single features. Let's look at how it's mapped out. So on the right side, you get the license entries, and those are the actual products you sell. I mean, yeah, the mappings of the product codes and in your dongle. So first of all, let's have a look at the basic one, the one which we will need, for example, to open the application. It has the product code 1000, and it's assigned to our firm code. This is a demo firm code of our professional services team. And also, the license search is set to local only. We could set network or local and network as well, but for reliability reasons, in our WIBU network, we have a lot of network license servers, and that could interfere with our demo, and we set it to local only, just to be prepared. So and on the left, you get the license list. Those are the actual entries that map into the features of the software. So you get, we'll see later, you can annotize your code with a license list, and then the function which is which comes below the annotation is then assigned to this license list, basically. And the license list 0 is just to open the software, and it maps to the basic feature. So then we get license list 1, and that's the plot function error. That will be the plot function in our software and maps to the plot function, and so on. Well, let's go to the next screen.
Maybe going back to the screen once again. So in my words, the license list, there is one entry for every feature. So it's more or less a list of the features that we want to implement on a technical way. And on the right-hand side, the license entries, this is what we can sell, or where we can create licenses individually. So the left-hand side are the features, and the right-hand side are the sales models, or the sales or the licenses that we can sell separately. Of course, we can add different models, the sales models to every license entry. And Michael, you did not show which is the product code that I need to use in License Central later. I guess for the plot function, it would be then 1001.
Yeah, probably. Let's see. Yeah, for the plot function, it's 1001. Yeah, we can look at the other ones as well. FFT is 1002, and the X limitation is 1003.
So when Michael does the part here in the encryption, and he gives me the list of the product codes that I need to use in the License Central later, and so this is the handover between the protection suite, Michael, and the License Central, me. So he gives me the list of the features that we agreed on selling, and the list of product codes that I should enter for these features. And now, Michael, you can go to the next slide.
Let's go to the next screen. So here we can see some extra things we can enable for the protection. The traps are kind of interesting because it auto-generates functions that are also when when a cracker wants to decrypt the software and he decrypts it and executes one of these dummy functions, then the license is blocked. And we get a lot of extra sophisticated features. We will go into those in a different webinar in more detail. Also, yeah, this is maybe interesting. We have the key generation entry here, and it's now set to 1 core key per license list. So what happens here is that there is actually 1 encryption key per license list, in this case, per feature that is used to encrypt the actual code. So you can set it to even more keys per license list, and when there are kind of a lot of methods in one license list, then it uses even more keys, and some methods are encrypted with different keys than other methods. This way each list is encrypted with a unique key.
So this is especially one of the features that we mentioned in our agenda for increasing the security. And here I would say it's a choice between performance and paranoia. So if we have a separate key for every single method inside our software, the communication with the dongle or communication with the license is very often, and we cannot cache anything because every function has its own key, and so this offers highest security, but of course it will cost you performance. And to increase the performance, we have the option to have the same key for multiple functions. Then we create a key, we decrypt the key, we keep the key in the cache, and use this in the cache, which is of course is faster. But of course, the key is in the cache, and there are less keys. And so this is one setting where you can choose between paranoia. You set it to the amount of methods that you have in total in your application, or performance, you set it to 1, or maybe something in between. And so here, this is a case where you can define the security on your own level. Let's go to next, I think.
Yeah. So here we get a it's just a YAML notation of the configuration we previously entered in the UI. You get it printed out here, and finally the actual encryption, actual screen where we can hit encrypt. Let's do that.
So when you say there's a YAML file, I expect that there is also a command line tool that we can use in the background, so we don't need to use the graphical user interface every time. I think we can also use a command line tool to integrate this in some automatic build script. Okay, Python, you don't have a build script, but I think you can automate this process, right?
Exactly. There actually, let's go to the. I mean, it's already encrypted. We can. It's in the directory where it should be. Let's go to the screen back. So you can see here, it prints out a command line parameter, which you can use to encrypt the application from the command line, and it gets the YAML file as a parameter, or it's already in there. Yeah.
So then maybe we can start a protected application, and my expectation is it will bring an error message.
Yeah, let's do that.
Where is the protected? We need to change the directory.
Yeah, exactly. We are in the protected directory right now. This is for the second sample. We go into the protected directory and execute the application. Let's see. And we get an error message on the different screen. Here it is. And it says no license found. And also it tells you about the firm code and the product code. And it says, yeah, well, the product code 1000 is missing. This was the product code we need to actually open the application. Yeah, sounds right. Sounds about right. So what should we do now?
Okay, before what should we do now? A few remarks on this error handling. So this is an error handling that we integrate for all types of protection. So especially for here Python, .NET, JavaScript, and CTP. This is implemented in a library from us that will be delivered automatically with your protected executable or your protected application. And if you want to change this, you can change this. So if you say firm code, product code is nothing I want to show to my customer, then of course you can build your own user message, or CPS events is the new name of this. You can build your own CPS events library and do anything you want. Or if you say, I have some requirements, but I don't want to do the work, WIBU-SYSTEMS professional service, can you create a CPS events library for us? Yes, of course, that's what we are here for. And so if you want to have a customized library that you can use for all your software, our professional service team can help you to implement this. And now let's go how to create a license. And for this, we go to License Central. And I also prepared something here, like Michael prepared the files for the AX Protector. I prepared some items. So the 1000 items, so 1001, 2, and 3 are the items for our single features. You remember we want to sell the features separately. So every feature is simply an item. So I just use the same item ID like the product code in this case. By the way, the item ID is a string. It doesn't need to be a number. So you can use any string. If you want to connect this to an ERP system, our recommendation is to use the material number of the ERP system as the item ID in License Central to have a one-to-one mapping. So what do we define? We define the item ID, we define a name that you have seen already in our webinar about License Central. We define the container types. We will use this local CMAC license bound to the computer, but I offered or implemented all the 3 types as usually in our samples. I said the product code is 1001. You remember the number that Michael gave me. This feature is protected with 1001. I'm adding the text plot, and the special thing in this application was that we have a basic feature that we need anywhere, and the recommendation is to put the basic feature as a module item, so as a child, and to add this child to any license that we create, so that the 1000 is there in any license, and then we have the license entry for the real feature that we want to buy. We don't recommend to have multiple license entries here, and I would also not use bundles. So my recommendation definitely is if you have such things like a basic license, put this as a child item and add this in the module item section. Let's take a look. The Fourier transformation, similar approach, item ID, name, product code, name of the product text, and includes the basic feature. And you will already guess it, the X limitation has the same product code, basic feature included, text, and the item ID. This basic feature, where I said it needs to be anywhere, it's a child, and the child doesn't have its own licensing system, because it is in the same where it is in the parent, so it inherits everything from the parent, and so we need to define the product code only. And I gave a text, so usually I put a text to every license entry or every product code, so that it is really nice and inside of the web admin. So now let's create a license. Let's say we want to have the plot function, and maybe we also want to have the xlim function. So that means we can do anything except the Fourier transformation. We need to remember this in the demo, but we will of course we will see it, I guess. So okay, plot and xlim. I say okay. And I get a ticket, and then I click on activate of the ticket via Web Depot. And so now I could say I want to activate only plot, I want to activate only xlim. By the way, xlim might make no sense because you cannot press any of the buttons. So maybe this is a combination which might not be the best use case. Just to show you, I already have a container a CMAC license on my computer, and the CMAC license, which starts with 241, includes no licenses. That's why the software didn't start. And I'm selecting the 241 container here. I will activate both. So and now I have on the local machine, I have the license. We will refresh the page. I have the license for plot, including basic. I have the license for XLIM, including also basic. It's twice there, but this doesn't matter because we want to license and count only plot and XLIM. And if basic is there or basic only needs to be there. So, and now, Michael, how does your software behave if these features are there?
Let's see. Let's open it up again. Here it is. It opened on the other screen again. Here it is. So yeah, here you can see the interface. You can enter a function you want to plot. It's sin x right now. You can change the x-axis min and max values. It's -10 and 10, and you get the plot function. Plot function works, and the Fourier transform, I think, didn't work. Shouldn't work. Let's try it. Let's see. Yeah, it opened an error message again on the other screen. Here it is. It says feature code, prior code 1002 is missing. Sounds about right.
Okay, Michael, then I have already a few questions to you. The first question is, we see the x min and max is enabled. If I would not have this function, it would be disabled, I guess. How do we implement this in the code? So this is the first question, and maybe you remember this later. And the second question is, for the Fourier transformation, we get here an error message from WIBU, but maybe I want to deactivate the button at all, or maybe I want to avoid some exception on the command line. We will see in a few seconds that there is an exception. And so how can I implement this? So first question, how to implement the check of the xmin xmac in the source code. Yeah. And the second question, what can we do to make the error behavior different for the Fourier transformation?
Okay, so first things first, let's hit cancel here because we don't have the license yet, and we can see in the command line there is some output as well about it. So next thing, we talked about the xmin xmax thing, that it should be disabled when the license is missing. So this is actually the code which does it. It's the function WP check license, and it takes as a parameter the license list ID, which it's in this case it's 3. You can remember an X protector, and lists the license list 3 mapped to the XLIM feature. Yeah, so when this function returns true, we just draw the fields, the input fields normally as a read-write field, and if it returns false, we draw them with the attribute read-only, and then we can still read what it's. We can still read the default values, but we can change them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, this looks very simple. For the Fourier transformation, how does the software knows that the Fourier transformation is protected with a different firm code? So is there some magic inside your software?
Yeah.
Are there some attributes or some?
Exactly. So let's have a look at the function of the plot Fourier transform function. So here it is. That's the function which is called when you press the plot Fourier transform button. And we can see this line here, at licensing, license list equals 2. So this is an annotation which is parsed by the X protector. And when it sees that, it knows to protect this the following method with the license list 2 key. Yeah, this is what happens.
And my third question is, if we want to avoid this exception on the command line, could we, I guess we can also check with a WP check license for for license list 2 if the license is there, and then we will not even call the Fourier transformation, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Let's try that. So yeah, let's just yeah, we can do it right here, right? Let's do we need another one of those, and then def pre FFT. That's what I will call my function now, which I call first to get the self. And yeah, we can, as we remember, we need the swoopy check license function call. Let's copy this line. Keyboard is sits here very unconfigurably, so it's easier to copy paste. We need to check for license list 2 because that's our Fourier transform thing, and if that's true, we will call the plot
Self.plot for you.
Of course, we are in a class.
And else maybe we can have a message box. I think that we can copy the line here, message box show error, just from 3 lines above, 4 lines above.
Let's do that. I'll show this one of those message boxes. And
so we say no license found, I think.
No.
Simply no license. Simply no.
No. Yeah, let's just say it's simply no.
We can remove the format.
We can remove the format string.
We need to remove the license list because otherwise we will get the error. So in 107.
Yeah, of course we don't. Yeah, that was my fault.
And
yeah,
of course
we need to change the button because now it still calls the actual Fourier transform. Let's call the pre-FFT. Okay, so I saved it. Now let's run XProjector again.
Do you have the software still open?
If it is, yeah, we cannot do this. Let's close it. I closed it. Let's hit encrypt again, right? Yeah, so let's open the software again. And yeah, it plots, and when we hit Patreon, yeah, it says no. Weird. Okay.
So, and if you go to the command line, I expect that there is no
error
you
can see in the command
so
line.
maybe you need to click on OK first.
Let's click on OK, but nothing happens. Yeah.
And then we see there's no error message because now we don't call the function if the license is not there. Of course, I expect you can make this more nice than we did in this short sample, but I hope you saw the principle how to implement this. Going back to License Central, we showed you how to implement the feature-based approach in the software. And when we want to create packages in License Central, this is something that we showed you in our webinar. So Jörg and I showed you that if you want to do this, I will need to go back to License Central, and I prepared some samples here. I will search for the items. They start with 2, 0, 0. And in this case, we created module item parent, which is the package starter, and another parent for the professional and another one for ultimate. Let's take a look at the professional package. And in this case, we said we use the product code 1000 as the product code of the parent. So it means we don't need to add a basic entry to as every feature because we already have this 1000 as the parent entry. And instead, in this case, we said, okay, we will add 2 items, the item plot and the item or the children plot and the children plot FFT. So the xlim is missing in the professional package, by the way. And so if you take a look at this is included fixed, so we cannot change this. And here we created the features plot, FFT, xlim separately. And so maybe we will simply create one of these licenses and take a look. Oops, 8,000. Okay, and okay. So maybe we should first delete the old licenses. So I will go back, I will click on the link. I will activate this license, and after this I will remove the single licenses. So this is done, going to home, entering the other ticket, and rehost, meaning removing the single features. So, and now the package is activated, the single features are removed, and if we take a look at our CodeMeter license, we now see there is a package 1000, which includes the features plot, FFT. And so this is the way if we do the packaging in License Central. So feature-based approach in AX Protector, package-based approach in License Central, and the mapping is done in License Central by putting this product item parents and the module items or the children of the parent item. And of course, if we start a software, I think it's not started yet. I can show it. I also am able to start a software, not only Michael. And what we see, plot works, plot foyer works, and the change of the X value is not allowed, not permitted. So I can hit the button 100 times, it doesn't do anything, because we checked that the license for the change of the X values is not there, and so this doesn't work. And with this, we showed you feature-based implementation in AX Protector. But now, Michael, let's assume we do the other way around. We want to do the package-based approach. And in the package-based approach, usually it starts in License Central. That we say, hey, in License Central, by the way, I should maybe deactivate the license first. I should have kept the ticket as well. Professional package, I click on this. So rehost license, deactivate selected license now. Okay, then if you take a look, it's now empty, our container. And in this case, I go back to License Central. And I say, okay, I created the packages in License Central. They start with the 300. And in this case, I only created the packages, so there are no children, because there are no children in this approach, because Michael needs to know what is included. And so I using the product code 3001, 3002, and 3003. So this is what I defined in License Central. And of course, I need to hand over a list to Michael. And this is the list that we see here that are saying, hey, the product starter should include the feature basic and plot. The product professional should include the features basic, plot, and FFT. And the ultimate should include all the features. So Michael, please implement this matrix into your AX Protector.
Yeah, let's have a look at AX Protector again. So we go back to the starter, to the greeting screen, and open our prepared project for the package. So yeah, as usually, the path, hit next, next. Okay, license list mappings. So on the right side again, we have the products from License Central. Basically, those are the product codes. So 3003 is, what was it again? The Ultra package, and yeah, any guesses what product code this is? 3002, and so on. So for the basic package, for the basic feature, in this case, which opens the software, every package is allowed, should be allowed to do that. Why? Let's have a look at the. I want to see the slides again. Yeah, thank you. So, yeah, as we can see, every product gets to have the basic feature, and this is what we can see here. Every product has the basic. Also, we can see every so the every product has the plot function. And this is what we can see here. The plot function is license list 1. But not all products have the FFT function, and it's only included in the Pro and Ultra package. That's what we can see here. And access limits are only included in the Ultra package. So yeah,
Let's encrypt it.
Let's encrypt it. Hit next, next, next again, and hit encrypt. Okay, it's done. Let's open it. So that's actually our projected 2 directory. Caps lock, okay. And we get an error message, and it says, well, that one of the following product codes is missing. So 101, 3001, 3002, or 3003. Sounds about right.
Yeah, so at the end, we don't have any package. We don't have the starter package. We don't have the professional package. We don't have the ultimate package.
Exactly.
So now let's go to License Central. I already showed you the packages. Let's create the professional package. Okay. I need to enter a customer ID, 7000 for instance. Okay, okay. So, okay. And I can click on this. Usually I copy this. So I will choose the CMX license that we already have, the container on my local machine. So if we refresh the container, we will see we have only the entry for the package because License Central doesn't know the content of the package. This information is now inside of Modular Protection Suite or AX Protector. And now if we click on the retry button, the software should actually start. It is there. It wasn't started in the background. So, and what did we see in the professional package? We include the plot. We include plot foyer. We don't include the change of the X limits, and that's why it works in the same way like it works with the when we did the feature-based approach. So at the end, for the user, the only difference for the user is in the package-based approach, he sees the package without a feature. In the feature-based approach with packages, he sees the package including all the features. So this is the only difference for the user. And the difference for you is either you implement this in License Central, you can do it, change it flexible afterwards, or you implement it already in AX Protector, which means that updates and downgrades are easier handleable and you reduce the amount of test combinations. But of course, you are no longer flexible to add anything which was not planned. So, and this is the summary of the 2 different approaches. And maybe one short word about the things like an NFR license. So let's say you have features and you're going back to the feature-based approach and you say, but I want to give an NFR license which includes everything. And so one of the best practice approaches would be to go to this page and to define one more license entry. Let's call this NFR and saying I'm adding, we will not save this, but just for showing 947, and let's say maybe 999. So usually this is a product code which is out of the range of all other product codes. Usually NFR licenses should be locally, but this is something you can define. And then we need to add the NFR license to any license list, which means that the NFR license will just activate anything. So you don't need to have the basic function, the plot function, plot FFT. We simply say if you have NFR, you are available to do anything. And if you have a new software, which might have a feature number 4, you add NFR simply to 4. And so this means the old license will also work with new software that you release later. So also later features can be included by simply adding the NFR to every license list. And this is what I would call a hybrid approach, because usually you want to use or want to license any feature, but there are special licenses like this NFR licenses inside of your software. I will not save it, otherwise we will destroy the demo of this afternoon.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
So let's
take a look what we forgot to show.
Exactly. Let's have a look at our slides. Yeah, integration to X protector. We had that. The interactive features. Yeah, the access limitation entry fields, for example. The examples in License Central. We had that.
Check.
The NFR licenses. Yeah. We just had that. Yeah. Well, I explained this briefly in the X protector demo. So you can with the keys per core keys per feature per license list. So you can so each license list is encrypted with a different encryption key, which is stored inside one of our dongles.
So then I think the last thing is show you a small .NET sample.
Yeah.
Last but not least, a small .NET sample. This is a short demo application. It's really just a Hello World application release. Here we are. This Hello World application has simply 3 buttons which say I'm feature 1, I'm feature 2, I'm feature 3. So really nothing special. So, and let's go to AX Protector. Let's simply open the .NET sample. And inside the .NET sample, you see a lot of things are very similar. And I click on Next. One thing which is different is that in .NET we will analyze the code when we load the feature. It takes a little bit longer, but here you see the same. And then I created 2 packages: starter package, which simply should start the software, and ultimate package, which should include all my features. And so I say, okay, the basic feature is included in starter and ultimate, and the additional features are only included in ultimate. So all the 3 buttons, 1, 2, 3, should be in additional features. Just keep it simple. And you remember in Python, we said you need to make an annotation and saying this feature or this code belongs to this feature or to this license list. And in .NET, you can do the same, but there's also the option to do this inside the AX Protector graphical user interface. And so we could say we have the 3 functions, feature 1, feature 2, feature 3. And we will assign them to license list 1, which is our additional feature license list. And so we say, okay, they are in additional features. I will click on maybe previous, and we will check. Starter has the 2000. 2000 is not there. Let's take a product code that we have. We have the 1000. Caps lock is on. So 1000 is the product code we have. And let's say for Ultimate, there's a product code we don't have. Maybe 9000. I don't have 9000 here. Okay. I think we already changed this. Yes, license list 1. And you see that also the core keys and the debugging options are exactly the same. So when we encrypt the software, so we get a message, everything is encrypted. So my expectation is that when we start the encrypted software, it should work immediately because we have the license 1000 here. Oh, did I remove it already from my... we use the 3002. Yes, we removed this. Okay, option is we either change it in our settings. This is just for demo purposes, of course. So usually you would not change the, you would not need to re-encrypt your software. Starter package 3002. Apply changes. Ultimate package, the code 9000. By the way, Somehow it did reset everything. This is so encrypt. So encrypted. Now we have the license to start, but we don't have the license to click the button. So, and what we see here is, here we have the option no license found and a message box from us. Here we have only our message box, and here we have the message box no license found, and we get an exception where we can say continue or quit depending on what we want to do. So, and this is what I wanted to show you shortly, that we have different approaches in the implementation for button 1. So for feature 1, before we calling feature 1, we made a try catch. So we say, okay, let's try to execute the feature. And then we catch an invalid program exception, because if the license is not there, by design, AX Protector, the AX Protector protected application will throw an invalid program exception, and then we can catch this and we show the message no license for feature 1. So you remember that we were trying to call it, we get a message from WIBU, from AX Protector, and then we catch the exception, and that's why we get the second message with our own message dialog. If we want to avoid having the messages from WIBU, before calling a function, we can check if the license for the function is there. So we can say whoopee engine, whoopee check license 2, and if yes, if the license is there, we can execute feature 2. Otherwise, we will bring our error message. And so this was the second option. So the button where we only had our message box. And the third one, here we did nothing. And so if we do nothing, we will get the message box from WIBU, from the AX Protector application, or from the CPS events to be more accurate. And after this, the exception was not catched, and that's why we saw the exception. And if we click on quit, the application will terminate. If we click on continue, the application will continue in whatever state we are. And so these are the options of the error handling in .NET. The second one is the same, the whoopee check license like we have in Python. So this is available in everyone. And the catching of the exception is something which we have in .NET, but we don't have this option in Python. We could also add an annotation here and saying this should already encrypted with license list 1, license list 2, license list 3. I think you believe that this is possible, and in this case you don't need to add the features or the methods of your application to the license list in AX Protector. This is the best practice approach to already put this with an attribute here. Okay, but let's get back to the presentation. And Michael, I think there were a few questions already in the chat.
Yeah. So first one, how can I assign a license list in my C++ application?
Okay, for a C++ application, you need to export the function, and then our AX Protector, the native AX Protector, will find the exports, will take this as the entry point, and so finds your function by this exported or by the inside the export table, and of course it will remove this function from the export table, and so you can do this by exporting the functions. Our recommendation is to use a macro from us, whoopee deckelspec export, because in this case we export a function and we make sure that it's not optimized by inlining, because one of the, let's say, the mistakes that can be taken if you want to encrypt a very short function and your code optimization does inlining, then maybe you protect the function, but a copy of the function is placed inside inline in another function, and then of course we cannot detect this, and so inlining should be deactivated. But this is more or less a hello world problem and not a real world problem, because in a real world application you would only protect methods which are long enough, and so if the methods are too short, this could happen in your hello world samples.
So the next question is there a maximum number of allowed features?
In a CMX license, we can store in a CM container, we can store up to 2,000 product codes. So this is the maximum that we can store inside a container. With the package-based approach, you can add as many features as you want to one product code. With the feature-based approach, the 2,000 is then the really hard limit. From my experiences, having 100 different features is something which works well, even from the performance. If it goes beyond the 100, this is something you need to check inside of your application if your performance requirements are fulfilled. So 2,000 the hard limit, 100 is something where I say no problem with performance. If you go beyond the 100, let's talk about performance.
Yeah, the next question is, can I hide features which are not licensed?
WIBU check license, I guess.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, you can use WIBU check license, of course. Next one. How can I handle internal license? How can I handle internal license which should also include future features?
I think this is what I showed with the NFR license. So we create this NFR license, which is an internal one. And then you add simply this sales entry to every license list or to every feature. And then if you do this with the next version, then this license also works with the next version.
Yeah, next question is, when should I use the license-free mode?
Okay, license-free mode, previously named protection only. In this case, you saw in the AX Protect GUI, so maybe we can jump back to this. Switch protection mode, select application, specify here. You see code meter license. This means that all the functions which are not in a separate license list feature are protected with a real code meter license, so without a license, the software doesn't start. If you say the license-free mode, we will still encrypt them, but we will encrypt them with a fixed key, which we hide inside of the software. This means if we're using this, the software will also start if the license is not there, and you can only not use the additional features, but the code is encrypted, even the code which should work without a code meter license. And so usually if you want to have a software which should start at any time, the options are to use the license-free protection, so encrypting the license or encrypting the code with a fixed key, or you can exclude this methods that needs to be executed anytime from the encryption. But of course, then you have no encryption, no obfuscation, no protection. And that's why the license-free mode is there if your software should start without any license, maybe in a demonstration mode, maybe in a free of charge mode, because it's the reader mode of your application or something like this. And so here is the license-free protection, a very good option. I think this was the last question.
Right.
Then I'd like to say thank you for your time, and have a nice day, a nice evening, a nice morning, wherever you are in the world. And I hope to see you again in our next or one of our next webinars. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.